Okay, y'all stick your heads in there. Kobe, you too. All right.
All right, we can go.
Mute the TV. Please.
Hey, Cody. You got the pooper scooper dropped on your head. The American Outdoor Brand's plumbing and littering. I didn't know that. I do.
Did you know that women were not an integral part of the workforce until 1941 and the military service until 1943? I'm here today to inform you about the experience of women in World War II. I've been interested in history since I was from a very young age. So the information I'll give you today will be thoroughly researched with articles for women in World War II. Although everyone doesn't like history, this information is easy to understand and important to the advancement of women in society. I will first talk about women in home front, women in the military, and women of minorities. Begin with women on the home front. After Japan attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, many men were enlisted in the armed service, leaving many jobs vacant. This led to women filling those positions instead of staying home and being wives and mothers, because they needed an increased workforce to produce the guns, planes, and other military goods. Women worked in defense plants, drove streetcars, worked on farms, and performed other roles on the home front. They were also volunteers for such places as the United Services Organization, also known as USO, the American Red Cross, the American Women's Voluntary Service, and the United States Citizens Defense Corps. And now on to women in the military. According to Melissa Zaboro in her Skirted Soldiers article, before World War II, women were used occasionally for gender-appropriate roles such as nursing, cooking, and telephone operators. As the Army struggled to fulfill their quota in World War II, women became a way to fill their quota. But it took a year-long struggle to get women in the military. On May 28, 1941, Congresswoman Edith Norris Rogers introduced a bill to establish Women's Army Auxiliary Corps, also known as WAC. On May 14, 1942, after much heated debate, the 77th Congress passed the WAC with Public Law 77-554. So in 1943, the Army was the first service to enlist women. The Army had requirements for the women. They needed a high school diploma, had to be between 21 and 45, between 5 foot and 6 feet tall, be between 105 and 200 pounds, and be of good character. And now we'll go on to women of minority. African American women were in the workforce and the military along with their white counterparts. Unfortunately, African American workers were hired after the white labor force was exhausted. And even in the military, they struggled to escape low-skilled assignments. But on the positive side, World War II provided an empowering political base that heralded the civil rights movement in the 1950s. So to review the information that was presented today, we learned that during World War II, women worked in many capacities on the home front, joined the military, and women of minority struggled to find their place in the workforce and the military. I hope this information has given everyone a better understanding of the experience and roles of women and minority women during World War II.